Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast but didn't know where to start? Well, Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor is your one-stop shop for podcasting. They have tools that you can edit, add music, all right from your phone or your computer. They'll even distribute your podcast so that it can be heard everywhere like Spotify, Apple, and even on Google. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Good morning, everybody. This is Morning Coffee.
It's time to pour it, stir it up, and serve it up. This is the Morning Coffee Podcast Show, your unofficial wake-up call. Here to help you live your best life and revolutionize your relationships, faith, inspiration, and love. Start your day the right way with Morning Coffee. Here's your host, Tanisha R. Atkins.
Good morning. You are tuned in to the Morning Coffee Live Show. I'm the host, Tanisha R. Atkins, back with another episode for you this morning. Well, as you know, we are in the heart of season 4, getting ready to wrap it up here in a couple of weeks. This season, we've been talking all about we're all in this together. So part of being in it together means that you have to communicate with each other. And so that's what we're talking about this week, effective communication, how to communicate with each other. We can't all be in this together if nobody's listening to the other person, or if everybody's talking at the same time, nobody's voice is being heard. So it's important to have great, effective communication. So let's get right into it. So I want to tell you, listen, I've always heard what people say, when you listen to someone talk, you listen to understand and not listen to respond. And that's something that a lot of us have a bad habit of. And what that means is, like, if you're talking to someone, case in point, and see, we diving right in this morning. I'm ready to talk about this. But if someone is talking and they are expressing their viewpoints about something, it could be anything. It could be, sports related, or something that a decision that has to be made for the home. It could be a decision that needs to be made, what vacation we're going to take. It could just be that the two of you have different opinions about things, because we're all different. And sometimes we experience that, you have a conversation and you have to talk about it, but it's the way that you talk about it that determines the outcome. And so it's important that when you're having conversations with someone who has a different opinion from you, that you actually take time to listen to them talk, and don't wait for them to finish so you can hurry up and respond to something that you heard them say in there. Because sometimes we do that, right? Somebody will say something and we be like, wait a minute, we'll snap. But that's just adding fuel to a fire that's already burning and trying to get bigger. So you have to learn to listen, to understand what exactly are they saying. What are they trying to tell me? What are they trying to express to me? Because sometimes we take it personal. When people voice their opinion, sometimes we take it personal and we want to stop. We take it as a personal attack and we want to stop. And before we can even process what they said, then we immediately come back with the rebuttal. Well, first of all, I didn't say yada, 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 yada. And that's bad communication. And if you're going to operate as one in your family, in your team, in your coworkers, your church community, your organization, whatever you're a part of, you got to get that communication right. You have to learn how to hear people. Some people express themselves differently than you, so they may use different terminology that doesn't necessarily, what you think, don't apply to you. Try not to take it personal. You have to remember, Morning Coffee is your unofficial wake-up call to help you to be a better you, to grow up. And so we have to grow up and say, now there are some things, I know this is not the case for everybody, because some people do take jabs, when they talk and stuff like that. And yes, it has to be dealt with. But remember, like, we don't have control over other people. All we have control over is our own self. We have to control our own mouth and our own reactions to things. So that's not their fault if they say something and we fly off the handle. That's us needing to learn how to control ourselves, learn how to, not everything in life is going to be smooth like that. You might go somewhere to somebody who don't know anything about you, and they're not going to even say it to you in a loving way. And if you allow your anger to flare up like that, you'll get yourself in a lot of trouble. So you have to have effective communication. You have to listen to understand what the person is saying and not just listen to respond. It will really change the dynamics of your relationship. It will make your partner, your children, or your organization or spouse or whatever, it will make them feel heard. And a good rule of thumb is, I watch a lot of reality TV, and I hear some of the counselors and things say on there, they'll say, tell me what you heard me say. I'm expressing to you, but how did you hear it? And you just have to always be respectful of each other's opinions. And, hey, let the person have their opinion. You don't have to, let me say it like this. There has to be and needs to be agreement in the home, in the organization. There has to be agreement, but sometimes you're going to have different opinions about things. There are going to be some things where you don't see eye to eye on, but you still have to find a way to stay in agreement. The agreement is, we're going to attack the situation and we're not going to attack each other. So that is the agreement. That doesn't mean that everything you say, I'm just going to go along with it for the sake of agreement. That doesn't mean that. That means that in this home, our agreement is when we disagree about something or when we have different opinions, we're not going to take it personal. And that's the agreement. And that's how you keep the chaos out of your home. And that's how you keep your family unit on point. You understand that right now we're just seeing things differently, but that doesn't mean I don't love you or you're a bad person or you're a stupid person for thinking like that. And some of us have to watch that condescendingness when your partner or your spouse or your children disagree, and then you belittle them and laugh. I think we're going to pause it right there and talk about that tomorrow. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, because having a condescending tone when someone is expressing how they feel is just flat out disrespectful. And so I don't want to merge the two conversations. So I'm going to put a pin in it today and just encourage you to listen with understanding, to try to understand what it is they mean, and don't just listen to wait till your turn to respond back. Make sure that you're really listening, really hearing them, really understanding why they feel like that. Take time to say, well, why do you think like that? And a lot of times things can be clear right up with you saying, listen, I understand that's the way you see it. That's the way your mind processes it. But I did not mean it like that. Just watching your tone, yelling at each other and stuff like that is, this is a no-go. And then you're doing it in front of the children. And then the children are going to school with all that tension. And then remember, we talked about how children are sponges. So they do what they see. And then they're at school. You're teaching them how to yell back at their friends and stuff. So we just have to, we have to do better. So that's all I got for you today. We're still talking about effective communication. We're going to pick up here tomorrow and talk more about this conversation. And then, hey guys, we're getting ready to come to an end. So are you preparing your mind? The Morning Coffee Season 4 is almost going to be a wrap. We literally have maybe 1 to 2 more weeks, and then that's going to be a wrap for Season 4. I think that we've covered a lot of things. Communication. We've talked about taking responsibility for your actions. We talked about a lot this season, all in, an attempt to help you to be one in your family, your organization. We've been talking about it all season, but I'm going to let y'all go. Y'all have a great day. I'm excited to, even for season 5, as soon as the season ends, I already get ready to start working on the next season. So y'all have a great day. Enjoy your day today. Love on your family while they're here. It's too many people dying, y'all. It's too many people just dying all of a sudden. Young people Before we used to say, oh, when our relatives start getting older, we start thinking about, geez, one day they're going to pass. And now you have to think about that with everybody, because this world is just so different. So love on your people, hug on your people. Good morning to my awesome grandfather who is listening every morning. So thank you for tuning in every single morning. I appreciate that support. Y'all have a great day, and we'll be back tomorrow with another great episode.
Every day I wake up with purpose, starting my day with faith and inspiration. Wouldn't have it no other way. Live, laugh, love. Let's make the world better. Give somebody a hug. Let's bring the world back together. With morning coffee, let's have morning coffee. Morning coffee. Start your day with faith, inspiration, and love. Start your day with faith, inspiration, and love.